Hello viewers, it's Smile a Minute IAS Academy, and today we are going to see the schedules of the Constitution. We have 8 schedules. When at the time of commencement of the Constitution, we had 8 schedules, and now we have 12 schedules in our Constitution. And how this change happened? This is because of the amendment of the Constitution. Amendment is nothing but changing the provisions of the Constitution is called as amendment. We change the Constitution provisions by the amendment. We have many important amendments which we can discuss later. So now let us discuss about the schedules of the Constitution. From Schedule 1 to 8 is during the commencement of the Constitution itself, but from Schedule 9 to 12 it is later added by the amendment of the Constitution. First let us discuss about Schedule 1. Schedule 1 deals about the name of the Union Territory and the states. It also deals about the territorial jurisdiction. In Schedule 1 we have 28 states and 8 Union Territories. In India currently we have 28 states and 8 Union Territories. Let us see those 8 Union Territories. First, Dadra, Nagar Haveli and Daman Diu. It is united to form one. Now, so Dadra, Nagar Haveli and Daman Diu, Chandigarh, Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Pondicherry. So, we have 8 Union Territories now. This comes under the Schedule 1. Then Schedule 2. Schedule 2 talks about the salary and allowances, annulments and the privileges that are obtained by the President, Governor, Speaker, Deputy Speaker and the persons of the Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. Everything comes under this Schedule 2, and it also speaks about the salary and allowances of the Supreme Court Judge, High Court Judge and also about the Comptroller, Auditor General. So salary and allowances of some important persons will come under Schedule 2, and Schedule 3 talks about the oaths and affirmations. Oath and affirmation of the ministers, Judge of the Supreme Court and High Court and the Auditor General. Everything comes under the Schedule 3, which talks about oaths and affirmation. Oaths mean nothing but before taking in charge they will say something that they will follow these things, right? So that is oath and affirmation, which comes under the Schedule 3. And Schedule 4 talks about the number of seats that is allotted, number of seats that is allotted to a state in Rajya Sabha. This in Schedule 4. Earlier it is said that Rajya Sabha reflects federal structure, but Supreme Court has said that is not like that. So it is a different story. So it deals about the number of seats that is allotted. So to amend it should be passed with a special majority in both the houses and the ratification of more than half of the states, which means that amending the Schedule 4 is harder. Then Schedule 5. Schedule 5 is related to scheduled areas and scheduled tribes. What is scheduled areas and scheduled tribes? If an area contains scheduled tribes, for example, we can say Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh have a scheduled tribe called as Bill. Bill is a scheduled tribes and they are located in Madhya Pradesh. So Madhya Pradesh is a scheduled area. It contains tribal ministers. So governor should verify whether there is a tribal minister in that particular area. So for example, we can say Madhya Pradesh like states under Schedule 5. And Schedule 6 talks about the tribal areas in tribal states. So here also tribes exist, but the state is itself considered as tribal state because more amount of tribals are located in that particular state. For example, we can say Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram. They comes under Schedule 6, and in Schedule 6 states which are in Schedule 6 have many special provisions. So these are the things which are related to Schedule 6. And then we come for Schedule 7. Schedule 7 talks about the division of power or distribution of power. Distribution of power and delegation of power is entirely different. In delegation of power, you will allocate your power to some other person. But in case of distribution of power, they have their own power and it is difficult to take back. In delegation of power, you can take back easily because that is your power and you give this power to some other person. But in case of distribution of power, it is difficult to take back. So Schedule 7 talks about the division of power or distribution of power. For example, we can say center and state. We have both center and states in India, right? So center has some power and state has some power, and which is given in, we have union list, state list as well as concurrent list. In union list, center will enact some laws, central will have some powers. For example, foreign affairs will be handled by the center, and currency, amount of currency printed, everything will be handled by the center, right? So it comes under union list. In state list, law and order. So to maintain law and order, state should have the power, because if there is a clash in that particular state should act immediately, right? The center is the one which is having power, means that the state can't act immediately. So law and order comes under the state list, and also prison and land issues also come under state list. In concurrent list, both center as well as the state can enact laws, but if the center has already enacted a law, then state can't override it. But in case if the state has enacted a law, center can override it. That is the importance of concurrent list. Example for concurrent list is there is a issue called Jallikattu issue. Jallikattu issue is in Tamil Nadu, in which center will enact some law in the concurrent list, but it should be modified. Then they will ask permission for the then they will ask permission from the president to change that law, and that will be done later. So it talks about the division of power. We have state list, central list, and concurrent list. And schedule 8 is relating to language. We have some official languages. India has some official languages. Those are 22. There are 22 languages that are in schedule 8. So 14 has changed to 22. First earlier we had 14, then now it has changed to 22. We have Hindi, Kannada, Malayalam, etc. in the schedule 8. Some different languages which are in schedule 8 are Bodo, Dogri, Maithili, Nepali. Nepali is also in schedule 8. It is an official language of India. Nepali is an official language of India. Then Santali, Sindhi, Urdu. Urdu is also an official language of India. These are the languages which are in schedule 8. Then schedule 9. Up to schedule 8, it is in our original constitution. After schedule 8, it is added through the amendment of the constitution. So schedule 9 is added by the first amendment of the constitution. It is added by first amendment. So schedule 8, why schedule 8, schedule 9 is introduced? It is introduced so that government can pass some laws so that it thinks it should be beyond judicial review. So government will add some laws under the schedule 9 to make it beyond judicial review, so that judge cannot question, so that Supreme Court cannot question that particular law. So even if it violates Supreme Court, even if it violates the fundamental right, that law cannot be questioned if it is placed under the schedule 9 earlier. But this decision has been changed by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court now says that in Kolgo case, Supreme Court says that if it violates the basic feature of the constitution, if it affects some law affects the basic feature of the constitution, it can be questioned, which is said by the Supreme Court in Kolgo judgment. So this is relating to schedule 9, in which some laws will be part which government thinks it should be beyond judicial review. Then comes schedule 10. Schedule 10 speaks about the anti-defection. What is anti-defection? If one person changes from one party to another party, then it is we just believe them and we vote them, then they change from one to another, right? That is anti-defection. So schedule 10 deals about anti-defection. It is introduced by the 52nd Amendment Act. Schedule 10 introduced by 52nd Amendment Act, where schedule 9 introduced by the First Amendment Act. It deals about the disqualification of members of the parliament. So schedule 10 deals about the disqualification of members of the parliament and state legislature on the grounds of defection. So this is about schedule 10. It is introduced by 52nd Amendment Act of 1985. It is also known as anti-defection law. Then schedule 11. Schedule 11 is also later introduced by an amendment of 73rd Amendment. So schedule 9 by first amendment, schedule 10 by 52nd amendment, schedule 11 by 73rd amendment. The 73rd amendment, they introduced a concept called panchayat. It is nothing but a local rural self-governing unit. We have three-tier government. First is center, then we have state, then we have local rural self-governing unit, which is called as panchayat. So schedule 11 speaks about the panchayat. It deals about the power, authority, responsibility of panchayat. In panchayat, it has 29 matters. Here it has 29 matters. Then schedule 12 is also later included by the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, which deals about the municipality. So in municipality, it has 18 matters. So panchayat have 29 matters, whereas municipality have 18 matters, and it deals about the municipality. It deals about the power authority of municipality. Municipality is nothing but the local urban government. So it is also a three-tier government. It is in case of, so panchayat in case of rural and municipality in case of urban. These are the schedules of our constitution. Subscribe to My Minute IAS Academy. Thank you.